Good afternoon and welcome to this Good Friday service of meditation. This is an opportunity for each of us to walk just a little bit of the way with Jesus as he journeys towards the cross and to reflect on the things that he carried that day for each of us. There are 6 readings interspersed with hymns and songs. And after each reading, the reader will invite us into a minute or two of meditation. There will be no announcements or introductions during this act of worship. We will simply follow what is written in your order of service. And so let's pause now just for a moment as stillness comes upon us on this Good Friday. There is a time for asking questions, but there is also a day for decision. There is a time to discuss who Jesus is, but there is also a time to take up your cross and follow him. There is a time to weigh the issues carefully, but there are issues that will not wait until tomorrow. If we wait until we understand everything, we will wait forever. If we do not follow the light which we do see, we will receive no more light. If we today miss this opportunity, then God help us.
Think about this among yourselves, how Jesus Christ made himself nothing, taking the very nature of a slave, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man. He humbled himself and became obedient to death. What's more, death on a cross. He carried a large wooden beam, one half of a cross. They handed it to him like it was nothing, like it could be thrown away, like they were going to throw him away, this thing of terrible beauty. He held the rough wood in his hands, gripped it, felt its shape, tested its weight, imagined the plane upon it, the axe striking the base of the trunk, the weight of the leaves upon the branches, fluttering in the air of a spring day, breathing their last, gasping, falling, crashing down. He saw it dragged away, cut open, dissected, used. It was half a cross. He didn't carry the whole thing, though that was how it would normally be remembered. Just the centerpiece, which his hands would be nailed to as he carried it. And he knew that when he reached the place of execution, a post would be in the ground ready, and the beam would be attached to it, and his hands nailed to it. Actually, his wrists in between the bones, so that the flesh would not tear, and he would hang there longer. He would be hoisted up. It would make a cross, and then his feet would be nailed into place. Meditate, therefore, on the weight of that wooden beam, its roughness, the splinters, and ask yourself what it feels like to be overburdened. What is your heaviest load and your greatest pain?
They plaited a crown from branches of a thorn bush and set it on his head. He carried a crown of thorns. The soldier's logic had a brutal simplicity, a cruel schoolboy logic. He had said he was a king, so dress him up as one. A purple robe, some twisted thorn, a makeshift crown, briars and acacia, the barbed wire of the bush, harvested gingerly. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Stack him up, salute him, stretch him, strike him. scratch him, scar him, skewer him, scoff and kick him. They made him a kind of pantomime king, something to laugh at, something to scorn. They bowed before him, and grinning they worshipped him. Then they beat him. They made fun of him, in the way bullies easily do when there is someone defenseless in their midst, someone who won't fight back, someone who's a bit different, someone who makes claims that are easy to mock. His silence convicts him. That's how they see it, a loser. They could crush so easily. Meditate on makeshift crown of twisted thorn. Meditate on ridicule and scorn. Consider what it means to say Jesus truly is King.
He carried a seamless robe. It was a thing of delicate beauty and of great craftsmanship, robust and at the same time light, woven in one piece from top to bottom, like the robe a high priest would wear as he went about his duties. Like everything else, it too would be taken from him. Freshly made, it billowed from the loom as it was released, completed. The freshness and the newness of it made you want to bury yourself in its folds, or put it on. But there was a breeze that day. The air seemed to hang in the sky like a great leaden weight. Somewhere a fire was crackling. Dogs barked. Children cried out in fear or stared in bemused amazement. His sweat and blood stained the cloth. It hung to him, and where he had been lashed, the fibers of the material stuck to the congealing wounds. Around the hem, where the stitching was plain to see, the material was starting to fray. Something was unraveling, becoming undone. And he carried the seamless purposes of God through exhaustion and terror, and the raw torment of a dying meant he did not need to know he was carrying it. He just had to do it. Meditate on that precious, seamless robe and on what is most precious in your life. How does it compare to the seamless purposes of God?
He carried his followers' disappointments. They thought he was going to be a different kind of king. Heaven knows he'd tried. He'd tried to etch eternity into the stubborn humanity of those who followed him. But now nearly all of them had abandoned him. Through eyes smarting with grief and narrowed by pain, he looks out to see who will listen to the truth that is revealed in his death. But there's hardly anyone there. Just John, faithful, beloved John. He is still standing. He can also see his mother. She's bent over in grief, her body shaking with tears. Now and then her eyes reach upwards, and he looks at her. but for once he cannot tell what she is thinking. His disciples have gone. The shepherd has been struck and the sheep have been scattered. Even Peter, he had seen who Jesus was and was going to stand by him, but he denied him. They had followed him so far, and then they had fled. Jesus carried with him the knowledge of that moment, looking into Peter's eyes and seeing the betrayal, and sharing bread with Judas and knowing what he was intending to do. And now, almost alone, almost accomplished, wondering, will they ever get it? They wanted a different kind of Messiah. He had confounded them, and now they were embarrassed by him, endangered, and so they left him. They were in the shadow of darkness, the darkness you create when you turn your back on the light. Meditate on the actions of the disciples. How does it feel to be let down by those we love? When have we been absent when we've been needed most?
He carried the hopes of God. God had spent everything, through covenants, through prophets, everything except himself. And now it was his life and in his death that this new covenant would be spoken. This is my servant, whom I uphold. This is my son, the beloved. Listen to him. These were the words from the Father that he carried to sustain him. The belief that God was at work in him, reconciling the world to himself. He carried a new commandment to love one another. Love your enemies as yourself. Pray for those who persecute you. If they force you to walk 1 mile, walk a 2nd mile as well. This is what he was doing now, the 2nd mile of love. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. Like a lamb led to the slaughter. Meditate on your part in this story, your role, your vocation. What is God calling you to do or to be?
He carried the harsh words that I reserve for those I love most. He carried the bruising resentfulness of my pride. He carried every one of the petty excuses that I used to defend myself. He carried the puffed-up charade of my vanity, my self-importance, and my self-reliance. He carried every wrong decision I've ever made. He carried those moments of willful wrongdoing where I stared down the right path, seen what it would cost me, and choose the easy road instead. You carried the time I took delight in seeing someone suffer. He carried the times I bullied and cheated. He carried the time I stole, and the time I fiddled my expenses claim, and the times I've separated sex from love, and all the lies I told, and the hundreds of times I've never said thank you, and the thousands of times I was so self-obsessed that I was blinded to do the good I could do. He carried the times in the street when I've seen him and just walked by. He carried my broken promises, my deceit, my little hurts when I've let people down. He carried the big global horrors of war, the melting ice caps and diminishing rainforest as we plunder the resources of the earth, the raped child and the horror of the rapist. He carried it. He saw everything that separates us from God, and he pulled it all together, picked it up, and carried it to the cross. God so loved the world. Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. So meditate on how it feels to be forgiven fully and unreservedly, and to be put back together again.
Do please take a seat. We close in prayer. Loving God, your Son, Jesus Christ, carried us to the cross and shed his blood for us and brought us into new community with you. Help us to follow in his way, deny ourselves and take up the cross he gives us, and the world may learn his way of peace. May his life and his purposes be alive in us this day, and may we be alive in him. And when our hearts are broken, and when the burdens of this life feel too great to bear, take us to the cross and enable us to see here the great weight that Jesus carried. For here we receive the affirmation of your love, the assurance of your promise, and the strength to persevere. For we ask it in his name. Amen.